Hey guys, what's up? Listening to Jimmy Buffett, Margaritaville. Happy Friday, wherever you are in the world, whatever you guys are doing. Trying to stay safe from coronavirus, I guess. That's what everybody's trying to do right now. I'm just, sitting here about to go get some knowledge from Barnes and Noble, reading at the bookstore. I'm sitting in my car right here. Another Tesla parked next to me. That's cool. Anyway, the reason I want to make this video, this YouTube part of my new vlog series, is, give my raw rant on thoughts about what I think about what's going on in the world and what I find to be interesting this week. And, there's so many interesting things. And I think what I wanted to kind of take away from this video is a lot of our kids today, you know, are misled by the education system. What I mean by that is, if you notice, the education system, a lot of people say the education system has failed us. Well, I don't think it's really failed us. I think it does fail our kids every day. But what I did want to say is that the education system does exactly what it was intended to do. Like 150 years ago, in the 1800s and then in the 1900s, the education system was built to educate compliant workers that follow a routine schedule and can be more obedient and compliant workers, right? And so that was the whole point of the education system, is to build people that can be good, obedient workers. Well, guess what? We live in 2020 now, and till this day, the education system operates very much like the prison industrial complex system, where you see the bell system, right? So you get up at like 7 in the morning, 8 o'clock. They schedule you almost like a prisoner every hour. You get like certain time for your meals. You do something wrong, you go into detention. It's a system that you operate like this for a period of years and years and years, and it's ingrained in the system. And it's like anti-entrepreneurship. It doesn't encourage freedom, creativity, and the thought process that a lot of the kids in this day and age really need, right? And so the education system has really failed us in that aspect, where where education really is more about the real world, is having this ability to constantly learn. Like, look at me, I'm 30 years old. What am I doing on a Friday afternoon? I work, and then I go to Barnes and Noble, and I like to read stuff. And I like to constantly stay aware on things that interest me. So I read a lot of business books, and I try to read at least one or two books like a week. And that's what a lot of some of the biggest entrepreneurs and CEOs today are always reading books, right? So they were always trying to learn what's the latest and greatest and stay ahead of the curve on like business trends. And so, I mean, if you want to be successful, that's really necessary. And we've kind of grown in a culture where we ingrain this education so much into kids that they become anti-education and all that. And what I'm really advocating is we find this healthy balance of education is so important, but you got to be educated on what you are passionate about, right? At the same time, like, you've got to be educating yourself and self-educating yourself. And that's why I think today the most sophisticated learners are going to be online. Like, you can go on Coursera, Udacity, edX, Khan Academy, and learn about what you want. So besides basic literacy and the basic things, if you're able to communicate, speak well, and talk properly and write, and basic things, like, the education system doesn't really teach us things that are more important, like how to start a company, how to balance a checkbook, how to pay taxes, how to avoid taxes, how to minimize taxes. We don't learn all the basic life skills, like how to buy health insurance, how to buy car insurance, whether to buy a car or not, how to like travel hack, how to arbitrage money, how to balance a checkbook. Basic life skills that are really essential, more important than anything else, really, to be successful in business. And I think that's the biggest takeaway, is that the education system fails kids every day because they grade everybody on the same criteria. And as long as you do that, you don't encourage individuality, because you can have C, D, and F students that go out in life and they have low self-esteem, and maybe that's a benefit, but then they start very successful companies, and there's no correlation between your education and how much money you can make. It's all based on hustle and hard work, right? Everything that you do is based on how much you can work and how much you can create and provide value in the world, right? And two, everybody learns differently. I mean, there's people that I guarantee you work in computer science, that work at Google, Facebook, Twitter, Dropbox, all these big companies, and go out and start companies and sell companies that maybe they're good at very one specific thing. They get substantial stock, and now they sell their company and they make tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. I have friends that sold companies for like $1 billion and made like 50, 60, 70 million personally, that people would never thought they could make money. Really shy, introverted people that the education system would have failed years and years. And so it's kind of like, people are being gamed, and like, you get to this delusional, self-delusional point where you have this false sense of confidence that because you think you're educated, that you can be successful in life, and that's not how life works. Also, it's kind of like we're taught about a system where it's like, okay, you got to do good for what? To make money, to go spend money on the system, when in fact we're getting played by the system every day. So like, let's say you want to go buy a nice car. We're taught, why do you need education? So you go make a lot of money to go spend your stuff on materialistic things. Well, guess what? In this day and age, kids are driving Lamborghinis and expensive cars nowadays, right? I mean, you can go buy the Tesla that I'm in right now, this Tesla Model X. You go on Swap-A-Lease. You pick this car up for $1,000 a month, $700 a month. You can go rent a Tesla, put it on 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6 days of the month, and now you are travel hacking cars. You can get anything you want in your life. So let's say you want to, own your dream car. Well, what do? You go find that Lamborghini, maybe $2,000 or $3,000 a month. Put it on Turo, 10 days of the month, $200, $300 a night or a day, whatever, right? And now, you've got a car that most of the month you can drive, and it's basically free through that arbitrage. And so it's like every day, we learn more and more new, interesting things that aren't being taught to us, that requires continual self-education, right? And same thing like private jets, business class travel, right? Now it's like $595 a year. You go on JetSmarter, right? You have a membership. You can take an empty leg for like a couple $100 on a private jet. And so now anybody that's making like minimum wage, like even like the median income in America, if you make $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year and you travel for work or business, you can go right off, $1,000 of travel a year. You go on like 3, 4, 5 private jets in a year, and now you're living like, are you really that different than a billionaire? And technology has democratized a lot of things nowadays. So I feel like we're living in a completely new paradigm in the world, and it's just the most interesting time to be alive, right? You can do anything that you dream of now. I think you can have the dream life if you know what you're doing. I mean, nowadays you can go get a big house, rent it with 3 or 4 guys, or find a couple roommates, and you don't even have to own the house. You can go rent out a big house, and you live in this mansion now, and it's like you can live anywhere in the country, work remotely. It's amazing. We live in a time when if you open your mind, you can do so many incredible things. Like when I was younger, like maybe 4, 5, 6 years ago, I would see everybody like traveling in business class and first class, and I was like, hey, I want to do that too. So I bought like this business class ticket for $3,000, $4,000 international. I was like, that's so expensive. Like, there's got to be a better way to do this with points. And then I learned the entire points and mileage game. So I went and applied for like 10 credit cards. I got like 500,000 miles that year. And then I applied for like 10 more, and then 10 more. So I had like 15, 20, 30 cards, right? And then I'm getting like 1 million, 1.5 million, 2 million points. And then I'm like, you know what? 50,000 points, 100,000 points. I can travel in first class, business class, anywhere in the world. And so for the last 3, 4 years, I travel everywhere internationally in business class for basically free. And so now it's like without even spending any money. So I can go out and make money, save all my money, and then travel in business class for free. So I have more money to do stuff with. And it's like you don't even have to spend much money to have a good life, and you can live this billionaire life if you know what you're doing and you have an open mind, right? So it's just like, anything you want to do in your life is really possible, and if you just have an open mind and a willingness to learn and gather as much knowledge as you can and learn from the best people. And the best education is free. You go to the bookstore and you learn everything. You learn how the systems work. Don't let the system play you. Play the system.